we've seen our seniors graduate for 2 years now, and now we're helping these freshmen that are coming in kind of quickly understand this is what's expected, this is the technique, and just kind of, you know, seeing their frustration too, where it's, man, they know that they know what they're supposed to do, but they haven't been able to translate it to the field. And just thinking back on like when I was there 3 years ago, this stuff is so frustrating, but it's like you just got to keep the course, got to work on it every single day, pre, post, every day. I mean, if not, you won't develop that muscle memory. And once you develop it, it's hard to lose it. You can talk to them about that stuff. But yeah, I'd say the transition for me was as difficult of a thing as it probably was for anybody, just coming from such a small place where, necessarily the techniques that I had learned over the summer during those camps kind of, they at the end of the day, I used them to a point where it was like, okay, now I know that I can go back to my old stuff and still win this for us, win my one-on-one. And so that was the most difficult thing because, I mean, I remember fall camp, first scrimmage, and I lean over my toes and I get push pulled, and I'm like, oh, well, there we go. And,
Yeah.
Coach Hoover comes up to me and he goes, "Welcome to college football, Bryce." And I'm like, wow, that was something like I had never seen. But then it was whenever I realized, we have a scrimmage the next week, and the same dude tries to do the same move, and this time I plow him into the end zone. We score a touchdown on our scrimmage, and the first guy that comes up to me, Coach Hoover, comes up and he's like, "Hell yeah, like that's exactly what's supposed to happen. You did it right that time. It probably felt good." And I'm like, "Yep." And he was a GA at the time, and he's giving me all this praise and everything else. And Coach Canova comes up and he just kind of looks at me and just shakes his head, and I'm like, "Yep, there it was. That felt right." And just learning, what feels good and what doesn't. As a player as it goes on, ooh, that didn't necessarily feel right. And then you watch it on film, it's like, oh, that's why it didn't feel right. It was messed up. And so like the film watching and the technique, just that step from high school to college was the biggest change for me.
Yeah, because back in my day, it was VHS DVDs. We didn't have Huddle. We didn't have so watching film was way different. And so I think you've had a better experience watching film than I did. I had to kind of learn and do it myself and talk to people. But I think that's another big thing going from a small 2A, 3A, how you watch film because you got to play both ways.